What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thrift Shopping here. Today, I want to talk about some of the stuff that we have seen in the NGS headline, what we've seen in some previous posts on the NGS website, and we're going to refer to all of that information leading forward into the Stia region. I have a feeling that weapon progression in Stia could get a little bit weird. In less than a few days, we will finally be in the Stia region, and I know a lot of fear for a lot of players is what weapon to invest in. For this new region, we are going to have not one, not two, not three, but 4 different weapons available to you within the first couple of weeks of this region dropping. The first weapon series that we have is the Prim Libra series, which can be exchanged for using those Stia Expedition Prep tickets we've been earning in-game currently. You're also going to have the Fire Elemental weapon, the Effulgent series, available as a drop. We were also informed about a new weapon series, the Kuklafis series, that will drop from Gigantics and be craftable similarly to Kaisar, requiring minerals of the Stia region as a requirement. And this weapon series will have bonus potency and damage resist against Dolls type enemies. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to be getting a seasonal weapon, the Tenebris series, that will have a new augment that's going to give you 20% crit rate, 5% potency, and 25% damage resist to the seasonal enemies. That's going to be a whole month of stats from this one capsule, and it can be purchased via the seasonal point shop. And not to mention, these seasonal enemies are going to be weak to Ice Element. But we don't have to wait 2 weeks to get an Ice Element weapon to take advantage of these seasonal enemy weaknesses, because we already have that with the Prim Libra series. It's an Ice Element weapon. So this weapon will have a lot of utility when you consider it for the elemental upside it will have during the entire duration of the winter seasonal event. So on first glance, my suggestion during the headline was to wait 2 weeks and get the free seasonal weapon, since it will have all of the free stats from that seasonal capsule, plus the enhancement event, which will reduce the cost of upgrading, limit breaking, and an augment success rate bonus, making it more likely to land any augments you put on the weapon. So all in all, it's a win-win to wait and use this Tenebris weapon, right? But that's where Stia gearing could get wonky. If you've been playing NGS for a while, you'll already understand everything I discuss here, but if you are new to the game, listen up, because this is going to really dictate what you want to do with your gear. So first things first, not every enemy will swap to the elemental weakness of the new seasonal event, which is Ice. There's certain content that will always remain the same weakness. Why is this so important? Well, if you want to focus on specific content, it makes sense to maximize your effectiveness towards that content, which is going to include the equipment and weapon you decide to use. So let's dive into this. The first piece of content we're going to discuss is the Stia Purple Devastators, also known as the Purple Trigger. We can definitely tell that some of these enemies in the Purple Trigger are using fire-based element skills, so it could be assumed that these enemies will be ice weak, but they could also throw a spin and be weak to, say, fire or another element. If they were weak to fire in this case, this would be a great reason for someone to want to go all in on an Effulgent series weapon, because they would maximize the potential on running purple triggers. I will note though, we did see a malevolent version of one of these Purple Trigger enemies, so most likely Ice Element will be very effective in this Purple Trigger. We know that a major plotline to Stia is the discovery of Dark Fowls and why they retreated deep within Stia. It is safe to assume we will have another rematch with Dark Fowls. This is another piece of content that never changed its elemental weakness when seasonal events were active, and I'm speaking about Dark Fowls rank 1 and 2 here. You can even go test it right now while we still have that seasonal event active. Dark Fowls is still weak to light. So if that's the case, we can assume Dark Fowls will be weak to light again, which none of the 8-star weapons have that elemental bonus. However, we do have the new Kuklafis weapon series that boasts the damage reduction and potency increase towards Doll's enemies, which Dark Fowls is a Doll's enemy. So from what we have uncovered, this weapon has a direct influence on Dahl's fights and therefore the Dark Fowls fight we can expect to see. So if this is content that you're interested in, the Kuklafis weapon series might be your primary weapon. And of course, if you are interested in doing a lot of open exploration or combat sector fighting, in 2 weeks we will have that seasonal event which will make majority of those enemies weak to ice. And in that case, the new Tenebris series or the Prim Liber series are going to be your suggested weapon since they both have that ice element on top of them. That's going to provide you more damage. It's also going to apply that ice elemental weakness, which will proc elemental downs, making your fights much easier. Barring the introduction of a 9-star weapon series, all of these weapons have a purpose in this upcoming region worth of content. With that said, there is a ton of expectation on the Stia content being difficult enough to require weapons that give you that little bit of an extra advantage above the others. So for now, we'll have to wait and see, and in the meantime, you can go ahead and start planning out what content you wish to focus on and if there is a weapon that will serve you best. But it's not just the weapons that are going to get weird. We also have some new abilities that are releasing for both Braver and Bouncer, which are going to be able to change your potency type, allowing these classes to actually play multiple weapon types without needing hybrid builds anymore. What I'm speaking about is the Braver and Bouncer special ability optimized class skills. As long as you are a main class Braver or Bouncer and you have a Braver or Bouncer weapon equipped, what this skill will do is it's going to identify which potency type you have the most of between melee and ranged for Braver and melee and tech for Bouncer, and it's going to take that higher value and apply it to the other potency type. The really fun thing about this is it's going to allow a lot of classes that haven't played Braver or Bouncer the ability to play those classes without having to invest in a bunch of capsules. One example I can give is, say you are a Ranger main class and you want to play Katana. Well, you could, with all of your ranged gear you have, you could equip a Katana with ranged potency on it. And since all of your armor is still ranged potency, you will now have however much ranged potency you have as melee potency. So you would have a complete outfit worth of ranged potency with a ranged potency equipped Katana, and you will now have melee potency. So this will make it a way easier opportunity for a lot of other classes to be able to enjoy some of the most popular classes in the game. So that's all that I have for you guys. I cannot wait to get into game with you all. I cannot wait to explore Stia and definitely bonk some veterans with you all. So if you're interested in playing with me and our community, links are down below to our Discord as well as to my Twitch. Come on and hang out. I will be live streaming in the evenings after work pretty much every single day. So if you want to join me and the crew, you're more than welcome to. And on that note, I'll see you all in the next video real soon.